Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Plurk, and Instagram. Today is Monday, the 15th of July, 2013, and this is episode 36, Scattered. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. This week, I am feeling all over the place. Half of my house is packed up, so I go to get things and I'm like, oh yeah, I already packed that. And it doesn't look like my house because everything that's easy to pack is already packed. So books, photographs, etc., etc. I have no wall hangings. My living room is empty except for the furniture. The bookshelves are still standing, but there's nothing in them. I've taken down the coffee tables that collapse. We only have one coffee table that collapses. I've taken that down. And now there are boxes all over the living room so that they're easy to transport straight outside. Just it's very weird. I don't feel like I'm at home right now. I think anybody who moves knows this feeling, this when you're in the transition period where your stuff is not all where it's supposed to be. So that has me like, ugh. It has me not even recording at my normal time. I'm actually sitting down about half an hour early. So I have a feeling today's going to be a short show because it's either going to be a really short show or it's going to be pretty long because I don't feel like I have much to talk about unless my mind starts wandering, which it might do. Who knows? Let's just get into things because I'm just blabbering. So the One Skein Craft Along, you have about 2 weeks left, and I think it is so fantastic looking through the finished objects thread. I love going through there. I highly doubt that I'm going to finish the project that I had intended to do for this because all of a sudden I was moving and I just lost my head on that project. But there's 2 weeks left. In 2 weeks, you could feasibly make a project using 75% to 100% of a skein of yarn because you can use whatever weight you want and make whatever kind of project you want as long as it's a complete project, and it has to be 75% to 100% of a skein. And this craft along ends on July 31st. Projects can't have been started before June 1st. There is a tag, and it's kind of long. It's a BPH, the numeral 1, skein, SKEIN, SALG, because we're doing this with Anna from the Sir Ancelot and Lady G podcast. I know it's a long tag. And there is a prize for posting in my thread. There's a different prize for posting in Anna's thread. For posting in my thread, you could win this gorgeous Nooch fiber in the colorway Tomorrow and the base Midtown sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And it's super pretty. And I know that there's definite interest in that skein of yarn. I've heard from some people that they really, really like it, which is good because I really, really like it. And just in case you don't win, there are a couple other skeins in the Nooch shop that are similar to this one. I don't know if they'll still be there in 2 weeks, but I'll check after I draw the winner to let you know if they're still there. The pinky bluey skeins, there are a couple, or there were a few nights ago. The other craft along that's going on is really long term. It's the Temperature Craft Along, and I don't know where my project went. Oh, it's hiding under this bag. Okay, so the idea is to take an aspect of weather and track it, and then use that to knit something. The shortest period of time you can track something is 28 days, and the longest is a year and 10 days, I think. I don't know, when did I open it? May 17th, I think. And it goes until May 27th, 2014. So feasibly, you could just weather.com the past 2 months and have a full project based on that and not have to wait and do it every day. But I'm doing it every day, or I'm trying to do it every day. Sometimes I get behind, but here are my socks that I'm making. And I have started the gusset increase. So, you know, a month or so and I'll be done with the foot. I don't know, less than a month. I don't pay attention to how many rounds go into a gusset. Probably a couple of weeks and I'll be done with the foot because I'm doing the heel in this gray color and it's not going to have anything to do with the temperature at all. That has a tag as well, BPH-TEMP. So, finished objects. I have 2 this week. Both are in the mail. The first is Lynx Gauntlets by Emily Hastings. Made with Lion Brand wool ease in colorways, I don't know. I forget, coffee and oatmeal maybe. I used a US size 6 4.0 millimeter needles. It was a really quick knit. I did it in a week, even with the color work. There are two different color work methods in there, stranded and duplicate stitch. I suppose you could do intarsia in the round instead of duplicate stitch if you wanted to. I didn't want to. Thought about it, but decided not to. And the other is a commissioned Cthulhu, which is kind of my own pattern, hodgepodge of patterns that I looked over from Ravelry. I used Karen 1 pound in pink and a USD hook, which is 3.75 millimeters. Works in progress. I am spinning. Tour de Fleece is still going on. I'm having a lot of fun doing that. I'm not posting every day, but I'm spinning pretty much every day. I haven't spun today, which I have to do even though today is a rest day, technically, because I took 2 days off of spinning already, and there's only been 1 rest day so far. So I'm going to spin today to get caught up on schedule of where I'm supposed to be. First fiber that I'm spinning is this right here. That's what it looks like. It is Nooch fiber, 100% Peruvian wool, colorway nearly headless neck, and I'm really liking the way it's spinning up. I have still not decided if I'm going to keep it as a single or if I'm going to ply it. It's not spinning super thin, so it could stay a single and still be something good. I haven't decided yet. It spins really nice, drafts out really nice. The other fiber I'm spinning is from All Spun Up, and what is going on? Oh, that's what's going on. My half hitch loop slipped down, so I thought it had gotten untied, but it didn't. So this is what this is spinning up like. Much thinner than the other. This is my 3rd turtle. I want to do a 3-ply. I think there are going to end up being 4 turtles though, because the first turtle is much smaller than the second turtle. Like the first one I stopped when it was like that big, and the second one's like that big. So there will probably be a 4th one, so I'll be splicing plies together, but I'm not scared of doing that. And I'm using my tiny Turkish spindle. Threads Through Time, I think. It's Thomas Creations Threads Through Time. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited to be getting close-ish to the end of the fiber so that I can ply it and then make socks out of it. I hear that superwash merino is not awesome for that because it's really soft, but I don't really wear my socks too frequently because I only wear them when I have to, which is the middle of winter. So they'll be okay. And I could make slippers so that I could wear them. But honestly, they'll probably be my going to visit people socks, so they'll probably only get worn a few times a year. Hopefully they'll last. If not, I'll just knit a new pair, spin and knit some more. Oh darn. That's the nice thing about socks. They wear out eventually, so you have to make more. What else am I working on? The wedding ring afghan. I am up to 16 pieces, and I'm working on the 17th. There's 61 of these circly pieces. This is the part that's going to feel like it takes the longest because there's 61 of the same thing. All of the other things, there are, ew, gross, sorry, there's a fly. It's because the kids leave the door open and it's summertime. There are 121 pieces and 4 different types of pieces, and there's 61 of this. So it's really feeling like a slog, but it's not that bad. I just try to do, it's basically a 2-row repeat. It's a free pattern, so it's basically a 2-row repeat, and I try to do a repeat every time I finish something else throughout the day, so by the time I get to the end of the day, I only have, half of a thing left to go. Using Caron 1 pound, colorway lilac, US I hook, or a US 9, which is 5.5 millimeters. And after I finish up this skein of lilac, I'll probably switch out and do a different section, like a different type of piece, until I finish all of those pieces or finish a skein of yarn, whichever comes first, and then I'll switch back to the lilac. The last project that I have right now that I'm working on is a test knit for Melissa, and I'm pretty sure it's okay to show you this. If not, she'll yell at me and I'll take down this post and edit it. So these are the cursed cable knits she is designing. Well, that she designed, and I am test knitting for her along with a few other people. I am using Premier Serenity sock in the Tanzanite colorway. I'm making these for my sister. I have both mitts started because they're gauntlets and you do increases. As you could see in the picture, you can make them go up all the way to the elbow, and that is my plan. So I want the increases to be in the same place, so I'm working on both of them at the same time. This one is farther. It's got the cable, which you can see better in person, and I think you can tell that the cable, starting here is starting to mirroring, okay, starting to travel here. It slants around the arm. I can't. It's mirroring scattered. Okay, so that's where I am on the first one, and this is where I am on the second one. I'm not yet to the thumb. So this one's resting right now while I catch this up to where it is. Oh no, I just dropped a stitch marker. That's not good. I had an issue yesterday at my Stitch and Bitch. Nobody showed up, and I got frustrated with my project, so I left early because I messed up on the cable and I couldn't figure it out, which is why it's only where it is right now instead of further, because it could be further if I worked on it. I'm going to work on it today. I'm hoping to get it through past the thumb, the waist yarn for the thumb, and then maybe to the thumb gusset even by the end of the day. You start it on a US size 1.5, but I used 2 because I don't have 1.5, which is a 2.75 millimeter needle, and then you go to a size 3, which is 3.25 millimeters. So scattered. Also, the children aren't napping because it's not nap time yet, and they're not going to nap anyway. So I'm recording, and they're watching Sesame Street. So every time they make a sound, I'm distracted. I'm just distracted. Hopefully next week I will be less... No, I'll probably be more distracted because we're signing for the house this weekend, but we're not getting the truck until the following weekend, though we will be moving the stuff that you... I don't know how everybody does it. I'm sure if you're doing a really, really long move, everything needs to go in the back of the truck. I understand that. But when you're doing a short move, which is what we're doing, it's like 15 minutes away, there's going to be one load in a rented truck, and then other things are getting moved in our vehicle, like computers and TVs and glass and things that could potentially break in a big truck if not packed perfectly. So we'll be moving those smaller, more fragile things during the week. So I don't know. Next week will either be better or worse than this, and then the week after that I will hopefully be in my new, better location with a new, better computer. Good luck! So, sock yarn blanket. Worked on that. Let's see. Nope, not that square. Okay, this one. And then this cluster over here. And this big square is a scrap of all of the squares that I have worked on so far, I think. There might be one small mini skein that's not used, but from Anastasia. This is a big Anastasia scrap square, and these are all Anastasia squares. This week I will be using up the last of the Anastasia yarn, and then I will be using the yarn that Becca gave me because I didn't pack it. So that's how it won being the mini skeins that I got to use. All the other mini skeins are packed. I may have to unpack a box, though, of mini skeins, which will be fine because that will probably be one of the boxes that I will move over during the week and not trusting to live inside the truck because I'll be too excited to open it and start unpacking in my room, my craft room, even though there won't be any furniture. What am I reading? Do you want to know? I'm reading a lot this week. I finished the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It was okay. It ended how I expected. There was no shocker. It was okay. If you like vampire stuff, if you like history, give it a try. The style doesn't really get any better, so if you really can't abide by the style as you're reading it, just stop. I've heard that the movie is completely horrible, so I'm not going to see that. But the book was okay. It was fun to have historical... It was fun to read about the interactions of historical figures with vampirism tied in. So that was fun. I started Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman, and I am not quite halfway through. It's pretty good. It's similar to American Gods in that it deals with gods and mortals. There may or may not be a character who is in American Gods who's in this. I don't know. In the beginning, there's a death of Anansi. So it may or may not be the same Anansi that was in American Gods. And that's the only character who I've come across who is in both books. I like it, but I don't like it as much as I liked American Gods. Maybe because it's focusing on just Anansi and there are less stories of mythology in the book. I don't know. It's still good. I just don't like it as much. I mean, but it's good enough that I read almost half the book in a week. And I read I started reading The Complete Adventures of Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, which actually I started reading last year, maybe? I started reading it a long time ago on my Kindle, and then I just wasn't interested in it anymore. Mary Lee wanted me to write her a story based on Snow White, and I started it, but then I got hit with some inspiration to write something based on Peter Pan instead. And then I was like, well, I should read the actual Peter Pan so I can see what I'm basing it off of. So I did. Okay, I was saying that I didn't know, but that is untrue. I just couldn't think of the words. But then I had to take Mara upstairs because she came to tell me it was quiet time, and I realized what I wanted to say. So, Peter Pan, in the Kindle version, The Complete Adventures of Peter Pan, is broken up into 3 segments. The Little White Bird, Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens, and Peter and Wendy. I just finished reading The Little White Bird, which is probably half of the book. And The Little White Bird doesn't really have to do with Peter Pan. It does, but it's the story of writing Peter Pan. It's not the story of Peter Pan. And that's okay, but I don't know, it's kind of boring. I am liking Peter Pan in Kensington Garden much better. So I might finish that this week. We'll see. It'll be what I'm taking with me to knitting on Sunday because now I always take my Kindle instead of a book. If I was reading a book that laid flat well on its own, then I would, but this won't. So reading that, and I'm also listening to A Storm of Swords. I just picked it up from the library yesterday. It's the 3rd book in the A Song of Fire and Ice series, and I really did try to read them in book form, but I enjoy them much more in audiobook form. There are 39 CDs in this, and let's see, that's 46 hours and 48 minutes. Yay! That should probably get me all the way through the rest of this move, you think? I listened to the first 3 CDs this morning and started the 4th. I guess I started the first one last night. I really like it. I've already seen the season that sort of follows this book on HBO of A Game of Thrones. And it's so different in the book, in a good way. You really get to know the characters. Battles are more gruesome. But there are a lot of characters that are added in the series that aren't necessary, and a lot of characters, TV series, and a lot of characters that are left out that I am still trying to figure out how they're going to move the story along appropriately without having them there. I got something new, and I forgot to tell you about it, and now I don't know where it is. I got stitch markers. Oh, here there. I got stitch markers from Rain Lover. Etsy shop was going out of business, so you can't buy them, but maybe you could custom order from Rain Lover. I don't know if she'll still have the stuff, but there's a set of 5. I've already started using them on my Cursed Cable knits, and I love stars. And they're fantastic. I really, really like them so far. But as I said, the shop went out of business. I got them in the closeout last chance sale. So you probably can't get any, but maybe. Rain Lover on Ravelry and Etsy and Plurk, I think. So if you really want some cute star stitch markers, maybe she still has the stuff to make them. I don't know. I don't have a list for you today because I couldn't think of a topic to make a list off of. I'm sorry about that. But I do have my distaff that I can show you, and I will show you how I use it. So give me a moment to set up, and then I'll cut to that. So I made distaffs a few months ago. I think I made a couple, and Jerry asked if I would release the pattern, which I haven't forgotten, Jerry. I haven't, really. It's sitting there. I just haven't typed it up yet. But I think that you probably know that about me. I really just need people to like be on my case about typing up patterns, or else I don't. I am not very good at self-motivating because there are so many other things to do, especially because my children distract me every 10 seconds. So I'll be starting to type something up and then totally just... So anyway, distaff. Since it's Tour de Fleece, even though, it's like half over, I'll show you anyway. Maybe it could be helpful if you're not a spinner and looking forward to learning how to spin. So this is my spindle. I attached my fiber for today, so I have something to show you. And what you do when you're spinning is you spin and then you draft out your fiber, right? Well, if your fiber is hanging, then it can get caught around your spindle. There are lots of ways you can keep your fiber from getting caught. One of those ways is a distaff. The way this distaff works is it's a little cuff on your wrist. I spin holding it with my right hand. I guess a lot of people don't do that, and I draft with my left. There's this little pockety thing. And I bought this from this distaff from Mary Bear's Oh So Crafty on Etsy. You could probably search Mary Bear and come up with it for name and shop sort of thing. So what you do is you take your fiber and you stick it into this little pocket, and the pocket holds the fiber while you're spinning so it doesn't get caught. And I love my distaff and I love to spin, but I don't usually spin sitting down, so this is actually really, really awkward for me. I pretty much always spin standing up. I don't mind playing while I'm sitting down because it's already drafted, but I don't like spinning sitting down. So I hope that's helpful, maybe. If you are interested in distaffs, if you're interested in this type of distaff and you can't find it on your own on Etsy, send me a PM. I'll send you a link to the shop. Show notes will be going up next month sometime. I hope you enjoyed this really scattered, probably kind of boring episode. I'm sorry. I'm not usually like this. It's usually better. But you're probably already gone if you thought it was boring, so I don't know why I'm telling you that now. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I'll see you next week. Bye!